I'm Lauren Vitale. On this episode of Lauren in the Kitchen, I'm going to show you how I make my white chocolate, cranberry, and coconut oatmeal cookies. Now, these cookies are really delicious, I'm not going to lie, and the reason I came up with this recipe years ago is because right after the holidays, tell me who does not have in their pantry like little bits of chocolate, little bits of cranberry, some oatmeal. You always have the little bits of things that are left over that just by itself it wouldn't be enough to make a recipe, but put them all together and it makes for a great cookie. So that's where this recipe came from, and the holidays just passed, so I'm cleaning up my pantry, seeing what I have and trying to use it all up because we do not like to waste a thing in the Vitale household. But before we get started, let's go over the ingredients. You'll need some all-purpose flour, some oats, either quick cooking or old-fashioned. I have some dried cranberries, some white chocolate chips, some sweetened coconut. I have some unsalted butter at room temperature, 1 egg, brown sugar, regular sugar, baking soda, salt, and vanilla extract. Those are your ingredients, and we're going to get straight into the cooking. Now you want to get your oven to 375 and get that ready for you. You also want to get a baking sheet or two and line it with some parchment paper so that your cookies do not stick. And now I'm going to make this in my standing mixer, but you can as easily just do this in a bowl with a whisk and a spatula. I have showed you that many times. You do not need a fancy mixer to make any kind of recipe. But I'm feeling a bit lazy today. So in here, I'm going to put in my soft, unsalted butter, and it has to be unsalted, and I get this question asked all the time, but by being unsalted, you really control how much salt goes into your baking, so that's why I always choose unsalted. I'm going to add both kinds of sugar. I'm going to just cream this together for about a minute. I want it nice and light and fully incorporated. That looks great. I'm going to add in my egg and a touch of vanilla, and I'm going to let that continue to cream together for another minute or so until the mixture is nice and thick and really creamy. I'm going to turn that off for just a second. I want to just give this a nice little scrape just to want to make sure everything's fully incorporated. We don't want to leave any bits behind. Now I'm going to take my oats, my flour, my salt, and baking soda, and I'm just going to give this a gentle stir all together. You don't need to mix it completely, but I just wanted to make sure that I don't get clumps of flour in one section and clumps of oatmeal in another. So now I'm just going to add this to my butter mixture. You want to put this on low, otherwise you're going to be covered in flour. And let that mix until it's incorporated. And in the meantime, I'm just going to mix my three, I don't know what I would call them, like my little, I don't know. You can add anything you want to it, that's why this recipe is so great. But my little bits here of goodness, I'm just going to toss them all together because you just want to make sure everything is, well incorporated, and you don't want to make, like I said, you don't want one cookie to have a ton of chocolate and then the other cookie have a ton of cranberries. So now that that's incorporated, and as you can see, that took no time at all, I'm going to add in my goodness bits and just mix that for about 30 seconds until everything's well mixed, and then it's time to form them up. That looks great. Turn it off and get this to my baking sheets because I want to get these into the oven. And what's great about this, like I said, you can put anything you want into a basic cookie recipe. Why did I choose to put it in my oatmeal cookie recipe? Because I had some oats left over. But if you have, for example, a standard chocolate chip cookie recipe, well, if you have nuts, put nuts in there. If you have some leftover M&Ms, put M&Ms in there. Note to self, I have to show you my M&M cookie recipe. I will be showing you that. But anyway, for now, you just want to make sure you give this a nice stir. Great. And these are so simple, am I right? And I have my little handy dandy little ice cream scooper here. And I'm just going to form these up and space them a few inches apart from each other because I don't want them to stick when they bake. Last one. Now these are going to go into your preheated oven, 375, for about 9 to 11 minutes, and then we're going to let them cool completely before we dig in. My cookies baked for around 10 minutes, and then I'll let them cool for about 10 minutes because, to be honest with you, they smell so good. I just want to be able to dig right in. And as you can see, they look beautiful. Look at that. Oh, that looks just, smell is what gets me every time. They couldn't be easier, but they taste so delicious. I'm gonna eat the whole pan. Now, this batter makes 2 dozen, but one of the things I love to do is to bake half of the batch and put the rest of it in the freezer. So that way, when you have a last minute company, defrost the batter and make some fresh cookies. How easy is that? That's it. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me. To get this recipe and others, go to www.allnutrittion.com. I'll see you soon. Bye.